you all right?
I am, thanks in no small part to your excellent defensive skills. Care to tell me why 2 Ashwinders were ready to dispatch me to get to you?
Ashwinders?
Victor Rookwood's thieves and extortionists, his little cronies. They seemed quite keen on you.
It's a long story, but thank you for your help.
Well, you've avoided them for the moment. Priya warned me things were getting dangerous. Best get moving on my research before they return.
You mentioned someone named Priya.
Yes, my wife. She's the one who piqued my interest in Merlin. Gave me a book when we were students at Hogwarts. Typical hard-working Hufflepuff, brilliant potioneer, has her own shop in Knockturn Alley. She's a travelling vendor. Hears what's going on in the Highlands before I do.
You're a researcher?
Nora Treadwell at your service. Historian and archaeologist specialising in Merlin's work and life.
I thought that Merlin and the tales about King Arthur's court were a myth.
Mere myth. You're lucky Sir Cadogan didn't hear you. Chatters on endlessly about his connection to Merlin from his portrait at Hogwarts. Merlin attended Hogwarts, you know, and I'm studying some curious fixtures he left here centuries ago.
Fixtures?
These vine-covered pillars, dozens of them, all around the area. I've taken to calling them the Trials of Merlin. I believe he created them as a diversion for his fellow Slytherins. He was terribly fond of puzzles and enigmas.
I'm not sure old vine-covered pillars are worth studying.
Well, I think anything concerning Merlin is worth pursuing, and I shall have you know, no one has yet managed to figure out how they work. But I believe I have just unlocked a crucial clue. I suspect that Mallowsweet is an important component in getting the trials to work.
Mallowsweet?
Versatile herb. Merlin repeatedly mentioned it in his writings. I had just arrived to test my theory when I was so rudely interrupted. You see, each swirl in Merlin's writing has a symbol in the centre. That started me thinking, what if...
The Mallowsweet is meant to be placed at the centre of the symbols.
Precisely. Would you care to do the honours? We can see what comes of our little hypothesis. I brought a trunk chock full of Mallowsweet with me. It's just over there by my tent.
This trunk?
Yes, take plenty, even if you already have some.
I have the Mallowsweet.
Lovely. Now, notice the vines on these pillars here, as well as a stone swell on the ground. Each trial has these features. Place the Mallowsweet on the swirl, and we'll see what happens. My word! Did you see that? The vines disappeared!
What should I do now?
This is uncharted territory. I am curious about these pyres.
Incendio! Expelliarmus! Incendio!
Merlin's beard!
The flames make the pyre sink.
Curious. The pyres are back where they started.
Incendio! Merlin himself would be proud.
Dear, how beautiful! What a day. I can hardly believe it.
I take it we can call that a success?
We can indeed. I now have even more questions. How does it work? I must review my notes. I may have missed something.
Are all of the trials like this one?
Oh, not precisely. Well, I think each has those telltale vines and the swirl on the ground. You should feel free to solve them if you come across them. I believe I have what I need to continue my research. My guess is that each will also require Mallowsweet, which you can find in Hogsmeade should you need more. I really must be off. Such a pleasure to meet you. And do be careful out here. Now I've got what I needed, I shall return to the safety of my notes and books.
Incentive!
Greetings, young Slytherin. Scorpe knows about the old book you found for Professor Fig. Scorpe can help you. And you can help Scorpe get to the courtyard past the pendulum. If you don't know it, you'll see it easy enough. And don't tell anyone what you're up to. Especially Professor Black.
Grace, what was it you needed my help with?
I was hoping you could dive down and retrieve a treasured family astrolabe lost during a doomed stargazing cruise.
Seems a pleasant enough little place.
Aren't you the student who chased Ranrock's loyalists out of Lower Hogsfield?
When you find a
Yes,
good opportunity,
I thought that was you.
seize it with
Well done. Never trust a man who looks too smart. That's what my mother always said.
Hello, Mr. Semi.
What can I do for you?
What do you have for sale?
What can I help you with today? Ah, yes, a wonderful choice. I hope to see you again sometime.
This must be where the Pinch Smedley family astrolabe is. I should let Grace know that I found her family astrolabe.
I trust you didn't find the dive too terribly difficult.
Hello, Grace. I followed your bearings on a dive in the Black Lake.
Oh, how incredible! Did you find the astrolabe?
I did. I hope it makes your father happy.
It will. I can't wait to see his face. Thank you so much for doing this for me, and for my family. You do well to keep an eye out for more spots to dive. A diver of your caliber is certain to find all sorts of things down there. Thank you again. And I do hope you keep diving. You certainly have a knack for finding treasure.
This could prove dangerous if I'm not careful.
Incendio! Incendio! Accio! Revelio.
I know a Merlin trial when I see one.
Accio! Levioso! Accio! Accio. Expelliarmus. Incendio. Levioso.
Scorpe? Who is Scorpe?
Revelio.
Pumpkins? Ah, I think I know just the place.
Accio. Expelliarmus. Incendio.
Down to the water's edge. This had better not be a trick.
Thank you for coming all this way. The name's Scorpe. Scorpe serves the headmaster. Been in the Black family for years. Apologies for the abundance of notes. Scorpe wanted to be sure you weren't followed.
What's this all about? Your notes mentioned the book I found in the restricted section.
Scorpe can tell you more in exchange for your help, but no one, especially the headmaster, can know.
I'm not so sure about this. I don't need the headmaster upset with me.
Oh, the headmaster won't be upset. Scorpe simply wants to surprise him. Scorpe will explain. Scrope's late mistress, Apollonia Black, may she rest in peace, was a student at Hogwarts over 50 years ago. Before she died, she spoke with passion of pages ripped from a book. Scorpe suspects she took them to her private grotto. She was delirious at the end, poor thing. Mistook belladonna for elderberries. Scorpe tried to warn her.
I'm sorry to hear that. But how do you benefit if I find the pages?
Scorpe believes that a treasured Black family ring is also in the grotto. Scorpe wishes to give it to the headmaster. Apollonia forbade Scorpe from entering the grotto long ago. Scorpe continues to honour her wishes. Scorpe would not dare ask a student for help, but when Scorpe learned you were looking for those pages, Scorpe thought you might also find the ring.
How did you injure your ear?
The Blacks have a tradition of decapitating their house elves when their service is no longer required. One day, dear Apollonia was understandably frustrated with Scorpe and got a bit too eager with a cleaver. Scorpe was able to convince the sweet girl of his value and now views this small injury as a reminder of her good heart.
Tell me more about this treasured ring.
Oh, it's adorned with the Black family crest. The headmaster would be pleased with Scorpe for returning it.
How did you know that I'd found a book and that it's missing pages?
Scorpe and the other house elves are good at staying out of sight. Scorpe hears and sees many things in the castle. Scorpe knows how to keep secrets.
It seems this may help us both. I shall do it.
Scorpe is relieved. Scorpe hoped the young Slytherin would be willing to help. Take this toast to the grotto just down the coast and place it on the pedestal there. Good luck. Scorpe will wait right here for you. Best of luck finding your pages. And...
Incendio. Accio. Expelliarmus. Levioso. Accio. Incendio. Accio. Levioso. Expelliarmus. Levioso. Accio. Expelliarmus. Levioso. Accio. Incendio. Levioso.
Why would I need a piece of toast? I suppose that's where it goes.
Could it be? A visitor? Oh! Ah! Ooh! Ah! The name's Richard Jackdaw. I was a student, just like you, about a century ago. How in the world did you find this place?
A house elf named Scorpe sent me. Said I might find a black family ring here.
Ah. Sorry to say, I sold the ring a long time ago. Poor Scorpe. Still holds a candle for Apollonia, I reckon. Can't say I blame him. I stole all these treasures just to impress her. Alas, 'twas to no avail. I thought a secret map I pilfered from Peeves would pique her interest. But she simply rolled her eyes. What would I want with yellowed old pages torn from a book? Not my finest moment.
I must insist that you give them to me at once.
They're not here. I thought if Apollonia wasn't interested in the map on the pages, perhaps it would lead to something that would intrigue her. So, I followed the map to what I can only describe as an enchanted cave of some kind. And you see what happened next? Here's an idea. Why don't you meet me at the edge of the Forbidden Forest, and I'll show you where to find the pages?
I think I could guess how you died, but who did it to you?
I was having a look around when I suddenly sensed a refreshing breeze. After that, I felt, well, lightheaded. That's all I remember. Hence, if you do visit the cave, be prepared. I can't tell you what for specifically, but you seem a perceptive sort. Beware a light breeze.
How is it possible to steal from Peeves, a poltergeist?
I didn't steal the pages from his ghostly form. I merely found them in his wake of destruction. He has a penchant for wrecking things. Books, bottles, suits of armor, whatever's sure to cause the most chaos. He dropped them after a particularly aggressive romp through the library.
I suppose if that's the only way for me to get those pages, I'll meet you at the forest.
I'm sure the pages are still tucked in my waistcoat. If you don't mind the sight of my decapitated skeleton, they're yours for the taking.
Hello, Scorpe. Thanks to you, I was able to enter Apollonia's grotto. The toast was the key. I met a ghost there, Richard Jackdaw, who's agreed to lead me to the pages I've been looking for.
Phew, that boy was never good enough for Apollonia. Oh, what of the Black family ring?
I'm sorry to say that Jackdaw sold it long ago.
Sad news indeed. Scorpe shall need to think of another way to impress the headmaster. Well, Scorpe takes some consolation in knowing that the young Slytherin found what they needed.
I did. Thank you again, Scorpe. You're a credit to House Elves.
What are you up to now?
Ah, a rhinoceros skeleton. I'm on the right track.
I wonder if you might be able to help me with a small, project.
You wanted to speak with me?
I did. Hello, I'm Duncan Hobhouse. Pleasure to meet you. I've heard all about you, of course, confronting trolls and dragons.
I suppose it must seem that way. I'm not sure it's justified. It's often been a matter of circumstance.
I'm going to presume your reputation is in fact warranted, in which case, you are precisely the person I need. You see, we were learning to repel boggarts in Professor Hecat's class, and, well, mine unfortunately took the shape of a puffskein.
Surely you're joking. You can't possibly be afraid of a puffskein.
It may seem irrational to you, but my experience with them has been most upsetting. They eat bogies, you know. Regardless of how reasonable I believe my fear of puffskeins to be, I'm beginning to get a reputation as a coward. Some have even taken to calling me Puffskeen Dunkeen.
I'm sorry to hear that. Words can be cruel.
Thank you. Poppy keeps offering to help me in overcoming my fear, but I'm too afraid to take her up on it. Anyway, to make matters worse, I stupidly blurted out that I must be braver than people think, since I have been in the hidden herbology corridor.
The hidden herbology corridor?
Yes. Rumor has it that the herbology professor before Professor Garlic kept dangerous plants there. It's supposedly so overrun now that no one dares enter it anymore. I was hoping you could go there and bring back evidence that I could use to show that, well, I'd gone in. Say a bit of an exceptionally dangerous plant of some kind.
Very well. If I'm in the area, perhaps I shall take a look.
Grand. I'd very much appreciate it. Come and find me if you get the proof. I shall be forever in your debt.
Hidden herbology corridor. Sounds intriguing. These dry vines are one spark away from becoming kindling.
Incendio.
This must be the entrance to the hidden herbology corridor. Devil's Snare seems to thrive in darkness. Perhaps it doesn't care for light.
Incendio.
Lumos.
Lumos.
Seems the Devil's Snare was protecting a chest of some kind.
Incendio.
I imagine a piece of that enormous venomous tentacular would be enough for Duncan to prove his bravery.
Incendio. Lumos.
Hello, I don't believe we've met.
Oh, hello. I'm Lenora. Pardon me if I seem a little distracted at the moment. Everyone thinks I'm utterly balmy. Samantha thinks I'm potty. But it's this painting. I never noticed it before. If I know Hogwarts, and I do, an empty frame doesn't appear for no reason. There's something more to this.
Have you gained any insights about the painting since you've been studying it?
I did discover that casting Lumos has an effect of some kind. But I'm not sure what to do next.
Are there any other empty paintings like this around the school?
Yes, a few. This entire place is somewhat of a riddle, to be honest. If I can work out the riddle of this one, I'll know what to do with all of them. As good a place as any to begin.
If I have the time, I may look. Could be intriguing.
I've been racking my brains long enough. I hope you'll have better luck than I have. Do come and find me if you stumble on something illuminating that solves the mystery.
Lumos! That spot must be a clue. I should look around in case it's nearby. This looks like the location from the painting. What could be so special about it? Let's get you back to your frame, little moth.
Revelio.
Moth, stop. So I need to keep casting Lumos on it.
There's not 1 week gone by I haven't had a hound. She's doing it religiously.
Lumos. Ha! I knew there was a connection. I should tell Lenora that I solved the puzzle of that empty frame.
When Howin said draw a vegetable.
Lenora! I solved the mystery of that painting.
You did? How?
I found the location depicted in the painting, and then I cast Lumos to guide a moth back to the frame.
All very logical, I suppose. Pity I was so close to solving it. You have a knack for solving riddles. Natty's good at that too. So is Amit, although he does tend to over-explain. Well, I'm glad someone figured it out. The moth! I should have seen that.
My sister's always wanted. I really have made a mess of things.
Is everything all right?
Oh, hello. Thank you for asking. I'm Cressida, by the way, and I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You see, I'm fond of creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. But I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
That sounds brilliant, actually.
Thank you. Somehow I don't think the librarian will see it that way. I collect the books and remove the charm myself, except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened the peace of the library. Amit told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around, so she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
Why did Amit tell Madame Scribner that they were your books?
Oh, to be perfectly honest, I don't think he meant any harm. I think he was impressed, bragging on my behalf. Amit spends a lot of time gazing at the stars, but he knows a good charm when he sees one.
I suppose I could help, if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it. One of the books is my diary. I'd rather it not fall into the wrong hands. If you could collect them and bring them to me, I can remove the charm.
Watch what you're doing. One boy fell off his broom.
Off on another adventure.
What are you doing out here?
Challenging you to a game of Summoner's Court. I think it's time you faced a real opponent, outside of Ronan's little lesson in charms class. Summoner's Court isn't just a game. It's a battle of skill. A test of a witch or wizard's mettle. What say?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Brilliant! Summoner's Court. The ever-changing game. Akio. Nothing to it. I've seen worse. Akio. All in the wrist. I'll let you have that one. Wait, did I win? I won! We should have bet a few galleons on that round. Care to go again?
I'm game for another round.
Grand! You could use the practice. Summoner's Court. The ever-changing game. Try to beat that.
Akio.
Not bad. Not bad. Akio. Lucky shot. Akio. Nothing to it.
Akio.
Tie game. At least you didn't beat me. We should have bet a few galleons on that round. Care to go again?